Black woman. Beautiful, powerful, resilient female of African descent with skin kissed by the sun. Conversation. A talk, especially an informal one between two or more people in which news and ideas are exchanged. We love being Black women. Black women are ambitious. Black women are confident. Black women are diligent. We are tenacious. We walk out of our houses put together. We are many shades and personalities of fabulous. But we as Black women don't talk about our dilemmas, current events, and what's going on every day that affects us. So we created this podcast as a way to laugh together, cry together, and have an open conversation about life as Black women.
Oh, that's deep. Black Women Conversations.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Janine.
How's your week been?
It's been busy. Of course, the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated understand that it is Pink Goes Red week this week. So I have been hustling and doing a whole bunch of programs. It's been late nights and early mornings for me. But everything else has been good. Work has been good.
And the community service that you all are doing is great too. So you're giving people the information that they need to stay healthy, right?
Absolutely. So it's all about reducing the risk of heart disease, which is what we're celebrating all month. Women and Heart Disease and Heart Health Awareness Month.
Heart disease is like the leading cause of African-American women's death, correct? Or no?
Leading cause of all women's deaths.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's not good. I wonder why that
Number
is.
one killer.
Yeah, but
The
when you
silent
think
killer.
But when you think of a heart attack, like when I think of someone having a heart attack, I always think of a man.
Yeah, but that's a heart attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, heart disease is a lot more than just a heart attack. It's like coronary artery disease and everything that leads to coronary artery disease, like strokes, that's included in that.
Yeah.
So, and heart attacks are still more common in women. People think of it as a man's disease, but it's not. It's a woman's disease.
Ugh, that sucks. Like, I feel like we have everything. Like, we have to have babies, then we have heart problems. Like, it's just a lot.
Well, it's the estrogen effect, right? So estrogen causes like all this like constriction and inflammation. So we have more of it than men.
That sucks.
So we have to take steps to reduce our risk. So decreasing your body fat, which is where estrogen is turned over in the fat cells, and reduce your risk of heart disease. But, I digress because, nobody wants to know our medical knowledge right now. Just saying.
Yeah, you're right. So have you watched, what is this black and white movie called? Malcolm and Marie? Have you watched that?
No, I saw it on Netflix when I turned it on because I feel like there's nothing really new on TV nowadays. Mm-hmm. But I didn't watch it. And I didn't watch it because I was like, I feel like it's going to be like some love, romance, like drawn out drama. So I did not watch that. But I did watch your Wendy Williams show that you were talking about. And I watched a couple of other things on Netflix. Did you watch that show?
I watched a few minutes of it. It was, first of all, I couldn't get with it because it was in black and white. Like, I don't know what it is. There's just some barrier in my mind. Like, yeah. Now, I will say that the acting is great, but it's a little volatile for me. I just couldn't get into it. So I gave it a couple minutes. I might give it another shot, but I really don't think so. So how did you like Wendy Williams' movie?
I just felt like it portrayed her to be like a drunk. It was not a good look. And I understand that that's like her story, but her husband put her in rehab, and the movie wants you to think that her husband threw her in rehab and she wasn't on drugs at all. She had no addiction. He was just putting her there because he was doing other things, and I won't spoil it, but I felt like that was in 2019, and you have to have sort of kind of medical evidence to be put in rehab. You can't just be thrown into rehab. Like, tell somebody that will actually believe that hype. I'm not a believer of that hype. No one is just keeping you in a rehab facility, not a medical rehab facility, when you don't have a problem. And it made it seem like she didn't really have a problem. Well, and to say that she kicked coke in 4 days, come on now.
Okay, well, a couple of things. So I agree. You do have to have a reason to go to rehab. But she did say that, she was turning the bottle back due to her circumstances, which technically makes you an alcoholic. Like when you choose to medicate yourself with alcohol, that technically is alcoholism, right? So I understand but it's, it's a movie and it's a Lifetime movie, right? Like it's a made for TV movie. It's not real drawn out. There was so much that was left out of that movie, right? Like the crazy part is, some of my friends and colleagues were like, commenting on, because basically everyone in the industry at this point has either worked with Wendy Williams, had some experience with Wendy Williams. So everyone was like, oh, they left this part out. They left that part out. And it's a movie, right? But at the same time, I came out of it feeling like she is a victim, right? Like not necessarily of her husband or the industry or whatever, but she's like trapped inside of her own mind. And it just seems like torture there. Did you feel like that?
I felt like she needed medical help. Absolutely. And I think that the whole point of it, even watching her, I think it's a documentary afterwards, was trying to make her look like a victim. Like, oh, I've gone through all this in my life and this is why I've done the things that I've done, and sort of kind of woe is me. Mm-hmm. And I'm a fan of Wendy Williams. I think she does a great job getting the dirt out there and entertaining. And that's what her job is, to entertain. But I don't really like the concept of it's okay that I did X, Y, and Z. And it's okay that I did coke because I never was at my job late and I was always on time. So I was functional. Like, I'm not buying that.
I think,
I
agree. Like she probably was a functional coke addict, right? And she probably was a functional alcoholic because, and to be honest with you, who knows? Like I've heard artists say that when they're on drugs or having, had a drink, they feel like they perform better, right? So it's something that people, I guess, have told themselves in their mind to justify where it is that they are at the time. But I just feel bad for her because I felt like she just needed a psychiatrist, right? Like she needs an advocate. She needs someone that's going to step in and not be a yes person to her and say like, hey girl, you're super talented. Look at what you've done. Literally, you're a legend in the industry. Kudos to her for pulling it together and keeping it together for so long because she has had quite a few traumatic events happen in her life. But I just felt so sorry for her. Like I really felt sorry for her after that. I really did.
I feel bad when people don't have the wherewithal to at least seek help further. That to me in itself is a problem. And then you look up and it's been decades and now you got an even bigger problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that, people that try to emulate her, I hope they don't try to emulate those aspects of her life and normalize it and think that it's okay. And I think that a lot of people do say they perform better when they are self-medicated with drugs and alcohol because they're trying to mute out some portion of their life that is, making them feel troubled. And you cannot mute out your life. It's going to come back regardless. So seek help now so that you will not be self-medicating.
Yeah. There was a saying that the old people used to say, like, wherever you go, there you are.
All right, Janine, what's on your timeline?
Okay, so these internet challenges have become a thing, as we know. And you and I have talked about this before, but I think that, I've kind of deduced that the rise of TikTok and the pandemic keeping people in the house has kind of, it made people bored and it gives people a little bit more time to be a little bit more creative. And these challenges are a way to be creative and kind of connect with your friends, I guess. So they're a thing now, right? So I don't know if you remember, but I remember when our challenges on the internet seemed to, they were kind of corny. No one really wanted to do them. It was kind of a thing that teenagers did. And, not so long ago, we were like planking and remember like flash mobs and people doing the ice bucket challenge, pouring a bunch of water over their head, which was for a good cause, by the way. And then challenges kind of took a dangerous turn when the teens started doing that Tide Pod challenge. And remember that challenge that caused people to like set themselves on fire? So I'm glad that those challenges are over, but now the challenges have been kind of centered a little bit more around dancing, which is fun because, you get to hear music and it kind of gets people in a better mood, especially during a pandemic. But the dancing, some of these challenges have turned a little bit sensual. So two of the challenges that, well, I don't want to say the most recent, but two of the challenges that I think have become most popular are the Bust It Challenge. I think that one came first. And now the Silhouette Challenge. Now, I say this, saying that they're a little bit more sensual. I will say I have seen, both good, tasteful versions of the Bust It Challenge and the silhouette challenge. And I've seen some that are not so good and not so tasteful, in my opinion. But hey, look, it's a challenge. It's not that serious. It's on the internet and people are allowed to do what they want to do on their page within the confines of the platform. So challenge world came into pastor world and now the church is chiming in. So Pastor Michael Todd, better known as Pastor Todd, who is actually a pastor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, has become now the center of this silhouette challenge back and forth, right? So Pastor Todd kind of became well known from his relationship goals series. So he did a series and it was all about relationship goals. It was very simple, practical, palatable information about relationships. He's a young pastor. He's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. His church is called the Transformation Church, and he's a young progressive pastor, and he has quite a large following. So he's in the hot seat right now because, of course, the Twitterverse decided that they wanted to chime in and have an opinion about something that he said. But he did this series, and the series was called Anchored. And in the Anchored series, he's been talking about a number of things, kind of still along the idea of this relationship realm that he lives in, and specifically talked about the silhouette challenge. And he was talking about it and saying that women shouldn't do it. So let me just, for those who don't know, go back and tell you what the silhouette challenge is. So the silhouette challenge is literally people dancing in their doorway, allowing the black and red filter that comes on. I don't know if it comes on TikTok or Reels, one of them. It's a filter that's an option, right? So they allow this filter to display their silhouette while they dance in the doorway. Now, in order to display your silhouette, you either have to be wearing very tight fitted clothing or no clothing at all. So that's what the challenge is. Now, Pastor Todd is specifically in the hot seat because of his message. And in his message, he said, I am asking you, young ladies, not to do the silhouette challenge and be impressive with your body. They don't want to know what's in your mind anymore because you've shown them everything under your clothes. So here's where the backlash in social media comes in. People are criticizing him for perpetuating toxic masculinity, and telling young ladies that showing their bodies somehow ruins them for men as a whole. And let's be honest, this is not a new concept, especially in the church, right? Like the church has often associated appropriateness for women with being super covered up and super modest and super submissive. Women are supposed to stay in a woman's place and be conservative. But as we know, that's not really where society is right now. And not to say that the church needs to conform to society, but that's not where society is right now. So the fact that he went on social media with this, people gave him a piece of their mind. They were saying things like, for so long, both society and the church have put women in a position where it's basically their role to make sure that they're modest so that they're not being a stumbling block, so to speak, for men, and not really putting the onus on men for not being able to control their urges or sexual desires. So no matter how, in my mind, no matter how little women wear and how women present themselves, I don't think that women are a stumbling block for men. Men do what they want. The same way that we should have self-control and be held to the standard of having self-control is the same way that men should be held to the standard of having self-control. And to be honest with you, if women choose to be modest or choose to display their body in a sexual manner, that's their personal choice. The only person that has to answer for their actions is the woman that's doing it. And so while I understand where Pastor Todd was coming from and understand his point, I also understand the fact that people are outraged because he's implying that a man wouldn't want to get to know the mind of a woman if he's shown her body. And it also kind of implies that men are so shallow and so weak in nature that they wouldn't want to explore the mind of a woman after they've seen her body. And while I see both sides of this, I'm interested to know, Nicole, what do you think about it?
Sometimes I just hate Black Twitter. That's what I think about it. So I feel like if you can't say amen, say ouch is what I think about it. And I think that people take the little bit of context they have and they run with it. If you go back and actually listen to what he said, he also said that men should be husbands that don't want to impress their college buddies. I mean, he talked about a whole bunch of other people and how they should be less impressive and more impactful. So the truth be told is, yeah, you should be more impactful. People should be wanting to know you based on your intellect and what you bring to the table and the person that you are versus how impressive and how many likes you can get on Twitter or Instagram. And I hate that people take this one little piece and be like, this challenge is promoting body positivity. And how dare he say that I need to put on my clothes? Well, you do need to put on your clothes. Like, you will never, ever catch me doing a challenge that has me out there like that. I mean, I just feel like if you're going to see me in a silhouette, then you've earned the right to see me in a silhouette. And you will not be seeing me in a silhouette on Insta or on Twitter. I said what I said. I think that it can be mad disrespectful. And yes, I know a lot of people who have done the challenge. Hell, my sister did the challenge and she posted it on her stories, which are not there. But if you post it on your page, it is there forever. And people can cut and paste that stuff. They can reproduce those videos and do whatever they want to do with them. And then when you're a toddler, which is why I definitely will never do that, becomes a teenager, it was like, look at your mama win. Yeah, you're not gonna have me out there dirty. Absolutely not. And he's right. There are people that are okay with their women being out there, just like there are women that are okay with their men being out there. But I don't want my man doing the silhouette challenge with his erect penis. So I don't, I assume that men probably wouldn't want their women out there unless they just perceive it as, oh, you're my prize woman, which in and of itself is a problem.
I agree. And let me tell you something. I am 100% with you. You're not going to see me doing a silhouette challenge. And mainly just because I don't have that kind of time to be playing on the internet, to be very honest with you. Like, I play on the internet all day for work anyway. I'm not about to play on the internet to be sexual and sensual. It's just no need. And I'm married. Who am I trying to show my body to, right? But for those women who do it, I'm like, more power to you, sis, right? Like, I have no opinion, to be very honest with you, about whether you should or shouldn't do it. I feel like it's a personal choice, just like many things in life. And here's the thing. If it's a very different thing for me and you as married women than it is for someone out here in their 20s, trying to get more followers on the internet. Do what you want. In my mind, do what you want to do. If you want to do, take your clothes off and do the silhouette challenge, then go for it. It just ain't going to be me and Nicole. That's what I'm saying.
I just feel like, hey, listen, even if it's for you in your 20s, realize that kind of stuff has consequences. And when you go and apply for medical school or law school later on, we search your pages. I just want you to know we pull you up and we want to know, what kind of person are you? Are you somebody that's attention seeking? Or are you going to be patient centered? Are you self-centered? Are you attention centered? So just realize that people are looking, and the things that you do now can and will shape your opportunities later. So I'm just saying, if you are in the media and you're like, my main goal is to get followers and I'm always going to be in this field, more power to you. You are an entertainer. I get that. But if you're just like, you know what, let me put this out here for fun. And, I might be applying to law school next year. Not a good idea, sis. Just saying. And
to piggyback on what you just said, it depends on what kind of media you want to go into, right? Because if you decide that you want to go into PR and or, news journalism, girl, keep your clothes on.
Right.
And honestly, I know it sounds bad and we should live in a society, we should. I'm saying should. So please hear the should. We should live in a society where people can do what they want without, backlash or repercussion from their potential employer. But that's not where we live. And people judge. Whether there's some rule written in a employee handbook saying that they shouldn't judge, it doesn't cause people not to judge. So Nicole is absolutely right. Please make sure that you are cognizant of what could potentially come after you do something like the silhouette challenge or the busted challenge. Just saying.
All right, Janine, let's talk through some things today.
This one is actually from a gentleman. So this says, hi, ladies. I'm writing to you in hopes that you will read this on the podcast and my wife will hear it. Yikes. I feel uncomfortable already, Nicole. Okay. It says, my wife and I don't follow each other on social media. We realized early on in our relationship that it was a stress point. So we stopped following each other years ago and it's been working. Last week, my wife said that she had something to get off of her chest. She informed me that she had done the silhouette challenge and posted it on social media. While I'm glad that she decided to share the information with me, I'm a bit upset that she didn't share the video with me first. She offered to send it to me after she told me about it, but I didn't want to see it because it felt like an afterthought in my mind. She doesn't understand why I'm so upset, and she's making me feel like I'm overreacting. I'm not overreacting, ladies, right? I'm an older gentleman from the South, and you all are close to my wife's age, so I figured that you two can help me understand from her perspective. Please help me, ladies. Thanks, Larry.
I don't have your wife's back on this one, okay? I do not feel like she should have, one, y'all should probably be following each other on social media. I just feel like that's checks and balances, right? Like accountability, like who you with, tag me. Who are you with? Tag you. So, when you don't do that, and I'm not about like airing all of your business on social media or, putting all of your personal life out there, but like it's sort of awkward if your mate is not following your own pages. That's to me in itself, like what kind of secrets are we keeping right now? So I don't agree with that. I also don't agree with like her not telling you. So I know that we're like, hey, don't do the silhouette challenge, da, 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 da. But if you decide to do the silhouette challenge as a married woman, like out of respect, you should probably tell your husband, because let's see, if your husband did the silhouette challenge and he's out there, you would be looking crazy when your friends came back and said, girl, I didn't know your husband was packing like that. And then all of a sudden, your friends are trying to sleep with your husband because they know your husband's packing. That would be a problem now, wouldn't it? So why is it not a problem when you do it? So I think that the Larry, your wife, is just dead wrong. She should have told you. She should have told you. She should have shown it to you.
I agree. I agree with you 100%, Nicole. And there are a couple of things that stood out to me in this letter, right? So the first thing is that it seems that he's an older gentleman because he said, I'm an older gentleman. So I don't know how much older he is than his wife. I assume that he's probably, the fact that he wrote in and the fact that he's like, we don't follow each other on social media, whatever. I assume that he probably isn't as socially savvy as his wife is. That's just an assumption. I could be completely wrong, but that stood out to me, number one. And then number two, it stood out to me because she said that she had to get something off her chest, right? So usually when you have to get something off of your chest, it means that you feel guilty about it, or there's something that you feel that is wrong, or, that you feel like you have to unload. And that, in my mind, means that she knew before she even did it, before she talked to her husband about it, that it was wrong. I just don't understand why she felt like she needed to do the silhouette challenge when she has a husband at home. It's her personal decision. Maybe she wants to show off her body. Maybe her body is banging. Maybe she's a fitness instructor. I don't know anything about your wife. But my question is, why is it that after the fact, she decided that after she posted it, she decided that, hey, maybe I should show it to you? Did she think that you were going to judge her? Did she think that you were not going to approve? Did she, what is it? What was the thought process? Based on your letter, it seems like you probably wouldn't have told her not to do it. It just sounds like you wanted to know about it first. Like you wanted to see the video first before she posted it on social media. So that stood out to me. And then the other part is, I'm with Nicole. Why don't you all follow each other on social media again? I know that you said it just was a hot button for your relationship, but that seems a little interesting, right? Like what happened on social media that caused you all to have an issue with following one another? Maybe you all need to take a break from social media altogether if social media is such a hot button for your relationship. Because the truth of the matter is, what is it that's so important on social media? Or what is it that you all cannot see on each other's social media pages? Are we dibbling and dabbing in the DMs? Is that what's happening? Or are people commenting on your thirst trap pictures and thirst trap posts? Because what it sounds like is that you all have some unhealthy social media practices. And the issue is not the silhouette challenge. The issue is how you all's relationship is impacted by what's going on social media. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me. What you think, Nicole?
Listen, I don't know the age difference. I wish I did know how old she was, because sometimes like older men could be like in their 40s and then she could be in her 20s and people are like, well, she's closer to y'all's age. Not really. Like we're in the middle of you guys. So there are things in my 20s that I thought that I now in my mid to late 30s don't think. So I really want to know what her age is and what his age is, because that could explain a lot. But the second piece is you're admitting it after the fact. So you feel guilty about something else, or your wife, not you, Larry. Your wife feels guilty about something else after the fact. Could it be that now somebody from your job has found out? Somebody in the family has found out and they feel like it's inappropriate and she's about to get ousted? Could it be that? Could it be that, hey, my husband gonna find out about this because his friend liked it, so let me go ahead and tell him. You know what they say, a hit dog will holler. And I think that she didn't got hit and now she trying to cover it up before the information gets back to you, Larry.
And you know what, Nicole? I didn't even think about that because I thought in my mind, well, I get it that you're upset, Larry, about the fact that she told you about it after the fact. But in my mind, I'm like, at least she told you before someone else told you. I didn't even think in my mind, well, somebody else might have threatened to tell, or somebody else is like, what are you doing about, like, why are you up on social media like this? And you know what? It is a good practice. And this is just something that I practice in my marriage. It's a good practice to not let anybody tell your spouse something about you that they don't know first. I don't want to, and I tell my husband this all the time, don't let me walk into a room and have someone else have some information about you that I don't know. That's a problem.
And you're so tactful with it. I say, let me find out that you got me out here looking crazy. Let me find out and you'll see what happens.
And that's the thing. And that's why I think that this situation with Larry and his wife is so dangerous, because every time you post, someone else is going to find out something about you that your husband doesn't know. So maybe if social media does not work for your relationship, it just maybe should not be a part of you all's life. That's just what I'm saying. Or do like the old school couples do and make a joint page. Larry and his wife page. You know, do you know those couples that make
people do that? They do. People have joint pages. We know some people from Xavier that have joint pages with their spouses.
Sure do.
Sure do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Think my ex might be one of them.
Oh Lord. But you know what? I'm not even hating on that, because if you are married to somebody that used to be sort of kind of out there and now they've like calmed down a bit, or, you know, you've met them in the DM, then it may be like, I don't know what you do in your DMs. We gonna have a joint page. Now that don't say they ain't gonna have a separate page.
I was about to say. Because, you know, catfishing is real, Nicole. Catfishing is real.
But at least when you Google that other person, they come up on your joint page. So whoever else is talking to them can't say, oh my God, I did not know that you had a wife. You knew because it says Nicole and James Plenty on the page, not just James Plenty. You knew he had a wife because we had a joint page.
Yeah, that's true. That might be maybe that's, you know what, Nicole, that's a good suggestion. Larry and your wife, if you feel like you all cannot have social media, create a joint page. And if that doesn't work, take a social media fast. It's helpful. Do it. That's our suggestion to you, right, Nicole? What do you think? I think that should be the suggestion.
I like the social media I like the fasting of social media. Absolutely. And because people can get sort of like too caught up in social media. Like you can't even focus on anything else. You're not even productive because you spent 5 hours on social media. What you doing? You're looking crazy.
Right. And stop sliding in people's DMs, because we're all stuck in a pandemic. Stay in your own house, okay? Y'all are married. Be happily married and enjoy each other during this pandemic, okay? Okay, Nicole, what's your scenario?
All right. So my scenario reads, Nicole and Janine, I don't know what to do. I waited until my husband went to work and my kid, who is 13, was off to school and did the silhouette challenge. Or so I thought they were gone. My husband came back home about an hour later to find me in lingerie. He was in utter shock since it was only 9:15 a.m. and I was obviously not expecting him. I explained that I was doing the silhouette challenge and explained what it was. He was furious. To make matters worse, my son's friend saw the challenge and showed it to my son. I don't know how he found it since I have a secret private account. Now that my husband knows about this account, he thinks I must be cheating. My family is perfect. My husband works as a dentist. He buys me whatever I want. He rubs my back. He treats me like a queen. I don't want to lose him over some stupid likes. What should I do to make him believe my actions were innocent?
Delete your page. At this point, you have to delete this page. Like, first of all, I hear that you're saying that your marriage is perfect, right? And then you go on to say a bunch of things that were, I don't want to say surface level, but those are things that can fade over the years. He buys you anything you want. Okay, that's material. He treats you like a queen. That's great. You should be treated like a queen. But if you want to get treated like a queen, you can't be over here acting like a scallywag. Like, why do you have this private page? Why? What was the point of the private page? That's what I want to know. What was the point of the private page? If you were not trying to intentionally hide something from people, and specifically your family and your husband, why do you need it? If you didn't think that anything was wrong with doing the silhouette challenge, then why not put it on your page that your husband knows about? I'm not here to judge you, sis. I really am not. I'm just curious, because if it were me and I was your husband, I have a list of questions for you. And yes, I'm thinking that you're cheating, because there does not seem to be any logical reason why you would need to have a private page. And here's the other thing. Now you done got your teenage kids involved, right? Your teenage son. Now, we all know that teenage boys have weird thoughts. So your teenage son's friend is probably now fantasizing about his friend's mom. And now you've just made it uncomfortable for your entire family. Like, what are you out here doing? Sis, I'm not judging you, sis, because we all have, temporary lapses of judgment. I get it. But my question to you is this isn't even a question. This is my suggestion to you. Take some time, sit with your thoughts, sit with what it is that you wanted to accomplish with the silhouette challenge. Did you want to feel more sexy? Did you want to be a part of the trend? Did you want to show this off to somebody? What is the reason that you did the silhouette challenge? And then sit with your thoughts as to why you have a private page, because there's something deeper than, hey, I wanted to get some likes. Who cares about the likes on a page that don't nobody know about? That sounds crazy. Something doesn't make sense to me. Sit with your thoughts, sis, because 2 and 2 is equaling 16. And that's not how my math works. So take some time, sit with your thoughts, and you have to be okay with the fact that your husband is probably going to be upset, because put yourself in his shoes. If the tables were turned and your husband had a private account where he did a silhouette challenge and your daughter's friend showed the video to your daughter of your husband and his package, you would have a problem with that. At least I would. So You have to let your husband process this, and you have to, unfortunately, deal with whatever consequences it is that comes with it. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't get over it quickly. So give your husband some time to process this as well, because unfortunately, you're not looking too good in this situation.
Well, I would agree. And I would say, before you delete the account, let your husband see the account. Like, just put everything out in the open. Let him see the page. Let him see the challenge. Let him see what you've been doing behind closed doors. And you can say, listen, I want to be 100% transparent. I'm going to give you all the passwords to my accounts. I want you to look at this account because it's going to be deleted, but I want you to see what I put out there. I want to be transparent. You're going to have to be transparent, because you're looking crazy and you're looking bad right now. You're looking like you're cheating, because if I walk into my house and my husband looks like he's about to have a rendezvous with somebody else at 9:15 in the morning when I'm paying all the bills, we gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a real big problem.
Word.
So, and that's what it looks like when you're walking around your house looking in shock about your husband. You can't say, oh, it was almost at the end of the day, so I was waiting to surprise my husband. Or I knew he was coming back because he called and said he left his lunch. So I knew he was on his way back, so I put on some lingerie real quick. No, you look crazy. You're looking like, oh my God, what you doing here? What am I doing here? I live here. What you got on? Because you look crazy walking around in lingerie when you didn't have it on when I left this morning, 2 hours ago or an hour ago, however long it was. So you definitely look like you're cheating. It's either that you're cheating there or you're cheating virtually, one of the two. And so you're going to have to come clean. You're going to have to show him your page. You're going to have to give him your passwords. And yes, I would ask him to go to counseling. I would beg him to go to counseling at this point, if he really does treat you like a queen. Now, mind you, to me, something about this says you're a little bit superficial. Just saying. I mean,
I was feeling it too, Nicole.
Right. The fact you mentioned your husband's profession, like, why we need to know all that, girl? I don't care if he's a carpenter. I don't care if he works construction. If he treats you like a queen, that's what I need to know. I don't need to really know his profession. And then 2, that he buys you anything you want. I mean, he's supposed to do that, right? Like, his money is your money. You're married. So he's supposed to do that. So why are you telling us that? So a little bit, it makes me think she's superficial. And obviously you're a little bit superficial, sis, because you got another page basically just to get attention. I'm just saying. And is this page really private, or is it like, oh, I don't show my face, but I want likes, but it's a public page so I can get followers? Is it OnlyFans page, sis? Is it OnlyFans?
Ooh, I really hope not.
I'm just saying.
Because sis, if it's an OnlyFans, we need to have a deeper conversation.
Right. Is it? I mean, what kind of private, you said private. What kind of private page is this? I'm just saying.
Nicole, if it's an OnlyFans, which you brought up a good point, because I didn't even think about that. If it's an OnlyFans, sis, we need counseling, and we need counseling. We need marital counseling, and we need individual counseling. We need some counseling to figure out why we need this kind of attention and what it is.
But you know what? OnlyFans makes a lot of, you can make a lot of money on OnlyFans. I was talking about that with a friend of mine. I was like, you want me to manage your OnlyFans page, girl? Jokingly, obviously. But people pay for sex. They do. And anything that can give them a sexual arousal, they will pay for. And it doesn't matter that you can get this Googling for free. It's like the curiosity of it all is going to make you want to pay for it. It's like a trigger in your brain that's aroused. So, it does pay a lot of money. So if it's, hey, this is my hustle, this is what I do for a living. Okay, I guess I can understand that. But you said your husband was a dentist and he buys you everything you want. So to me, that means you don't need that kind of money. So, but either way, if you do need that kind of money, we're not knocking the OnlyFans, but just saying.
But if you have an OnlyFans, let me tell you something. And I will never have an OnlyFans. But if my husband decided that he wanted to have an OnlyFans, I'm managing the OnlyFans page. That's just how this is going to work, right?
That will make you a pimp.
I'm just saying. Here's the thing. This belongs to me, right? So if you want to put this on display, I'm managing it, because whatever money you make from this OnlyFans, that's mine too. That's just how I see it. That's what I'm saying.
Touche. I understand that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. But I don't want you to have an OnlyFans page, and sis, I don't want you to have this private account. Even if it's not an OnlyFans, I just don't want you to do this. Especially as good as you're saying that your husband is to you, why are you doing this to him? Because we would be, if this conversation was different, right, Nicole? If you and I were sitting here and she had written in saying that she came home and her husband was naked in a doorway doing the silhouette challenge and he had a private page, our conversation would be completely different. We would be telling her to pack her things and find someplace else to go, right? We would tell her like, hey girl, this is over. Until we can get this situated, you need to go stay with your sister, or you need to go stay with your mama until you can get this all situated, because clearly your husband is cheating on you. So sis, we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but we just going to say, like Nicole said, you're not looking too good in this situation. You're looking like you're cheating. You're just looking like you're cheating.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, Nicole, what did you learn new this week?
This week, I learned that when we talk about challenges, there are a ton of challenges to help you save money. And that is, number one, the no spend weekend challenge, which means that you don't spend on the weekends and you save all that you can over 6 months. And then after that, you can do whatever you want to with that money. I like that challenge. I may have to try that challenge off. The second one is to increase your income challenge. So there's only so much you can do with your budget. So this is a challenge that basically makes you find a side hustle to make extra money. That challenge is challenging you to find a side hustle in a month. Okay. And to make $100 in the first month. And it can be anything. It's just find a side hustle. And that's called the Increase Your Income Challenge.
Those are dope.
Hold on. I have some more.
Oh, really? Yeah. I like these challenges.
The no new clothing challenge, meaning while we're in this pandemic, don't buy any single set of new clothing. Now I can't do that, but I can see how you could. I can see how you could do that though. I mean, we're really not going anywhere really. I mean, everything is virtual. Just switch your top. You're in front of the camera. Just switch your top, put on the same jeans. I'm just saying. But that's a way that you can save money as well. And then there's the track your expenses for the next month challenge, which means to write down every single thing that you spend. That way you can know how much you spent and not do it the next time. So those are a few challenges.
I really like those challenges, minus the no, don't buy any new clothes. I don't like that one. And probably because I like to shop, but I feel like shopping occasionally in the pandemic makes me feel better. Like I'm all about the retail therapy, but I'm going to try it because I probably should not be buying anything new because like you said, I'm not going anywhere.
Right. And it's no new clothing. It's no new everything else. It's just clothing.
I like that.
Just clothing. Yeah, I do like them. And it does, since we're in the pandemic, I feel like they're feasible, right? Like you can find a side hustle to make $100 in the first month. You know, you can do that very, very easily. And you can not spend on the weekends. I mean, we're really not going anywhere. Why not save some money or make some money instead?
I like yourself. I love that, Nicole. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I learned, did you know that there is a tutorial online that has taught people how to remove the red light filter from your silhouette challenge, thus exposing these people who have done the silhouette challenge in their scantily clothed body or naked body. So people have been outed where they went on YouTube because the video is on YouTube. I looked at it myself. I haven't figured out exactly how to do it because it's a little teeny bit complicated, but you can basically take a silhouette challenge video, remove the filter, and once the filter is removed, it exposes exactly what was behind the filter. So these people who have done the silhouette challenge naked, they're kind of out there now. If these people go on YouTube, they take the filter off and your bare tail is in the doorway, just shimmying down the door sill.
Well, and the thing about that is people are like, oh, TikTok needs to be sued, needs to be sued. I'm like, there are consequences to your actions. Every action has a reaction. So you can't expect for people to be aroused because it is a challenge that is going to cause arousal. It's meant to pique your sexual interest. Like it's a sexual challenge. So if you're doing something and put yourself out there and then you put like a filter and all of a sudden somebody can remove the filter, it doesn't take like a video or tutorial. I mean, you can literally do that in Adobe Photoshop. You can take the filter out that way. There's always a way to manipulate an image. So that's just like if I take a photo in the dark and post it, you don't think somebody can edit and lighten that photo? Like, let's use common sense. So before you put yourself out there, realize that somebody may manipulate that image, even if it is like putting a naked image on your image. I mean, like people can do amazing things now with the internet. The internet always wins. So yeah, y'all out there, bad.
Like real bad. And you're right, Nicole. I didn't even think about that because, not for nothing, but you and I have manipulated images because we needed a different color, the image to be a different color, right? So it never dawned on me like, hey, you could, there are people's minds that are very perverted. And so people will go and not even perverted. They're like, you know what? Cardi B did this challenge. I wonder how much money I can make if I actually put her images out there without this filter on. Like some people's side hustles are like making money on selling photos. So, hey, it's not always the perverts, but the perverts do it too. So just be mindful what you're putting out there. Yeah, be careful. Please be careful. And we get it. We all like attention, right? Like that's just human nature to want people to pay attention to us. But at the same time, let's be very careful about the way and the manner in which we try to get attention from people. I would agree. Motivational moment, Nicole? All right. So the motivational moment for the week, and this is by the motivational speaker, Tony Gaskin Jr. And I usually quote women, but this one hit home. So he said, respect self. A person will treat you the way they see you treat yourself. Set standards and don't compromise them. You can't be mad at anyone but yourself if you keep accepting less than you deserve. Until we meet again. Pray, work, slay. And show off your melanated excellence. Bye.
Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversations is produced by Nicole Lee Plenty and Janine Brunson Johnson. Executive producer, Ken Johnson. Get the Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversation podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or where you get your podcasts. Please subscribe and rate us. You can follow Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversations on IG at Oh, That's Deep, BWC. Oh, That's Deep, Black Women Conversations is a Mean Old Lion Media production.